In the dead of night, at the peak of the Cold War, a secret mission was unfolding. A mission so strange, so unbelievable, it sounds like something straight out of a spy comedy. But this was no joke. It was a top-secret CIA program with a budget of over $20 million. Today, we're diving deep into the declassified files to uncover the story of Operation Acoustic Kitty. Welcome to Secrets of Time, the channel where we explore the hidden operations and forgotten stories that have shaped our world. If you love history's biggest mysteries, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. The year is 1961. The world is on a knife's edge, caught in the grip of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union are locked in a tense standoff where a single whispered secret could tip the balance of global power. Spies are everywhere, but so are counter-spies. The CIA is desperate for an advantage, a new way to get ears inside the most secure rooms in the world. They need a spy that no one would ever suspect. And that's when someone in the CIA, a Directorate of Science and Technology, had a truly wild idea. What if their next great intelligence asset wasn't a person at all? What if it was something small, stealthy, and completely overlooked? What if it was a cat? It sounds absurd, right? But think about it from their perspective. Cats can slip through fences, wander into gardens, and curl up under benches without anyone batting an eye. They are the masters of blending in. The CIA envisioned a future where feline agents could stroll right into Soviet embassies, sit at the feet of high-ranking officials, and record every single classified conversation. The plan was audacious, and the agency was serious. They officially greenlit Operation Acoustic Kitty. So how do you turn an ordinary house cat into a sophisticated surveillance device? This is where it gets really interesting. The CIA assembled a team of veterinarians, scientists, and audio engineers for a task that had never been attempted before. They began a complex surgical procedure to implant state-of-the-art technology into a living animal. A tiny microphone was carefully placed inside the cat's ear canal to capture sound. A small radio transmitter was implanted at the base of its skull, designed to send the audio to a nearby listening post. And an incredibly thin, wire antenna was woven into its fur, making it virtually invisible. The cat was, for all intents and purposes, a living, breathing bug, a four-legged cyborg spy. But technology was only half the battle. The team quickly ran into a problem that anyone who has ever owned a cat could have predicted. Cats don't take orders. They are notoriously independent. You can't just tell a cat to go sit next to a specific park bench and stay there. The project nearly fell apart before it even began. The CIA trainers were stumped. They spent months and a significant portion of that $20 million budget just trying to get the cat to follow simple commands. They used food rewards, sound cues, and complex behavioral conditioning techniques. The goal was to train the cat to move short distances on command, essentially guiding it from point A to point B without it getting distracted by, being a cat. After a long and frustrating process, they finally felt confident. The world's first cyber kitty was ready for its first mission. The target was a Soviet compound right in Washington, D.C. The plan was simple. 2 Soviet officials were known to have private conversations on a park bench just outside the compound. The CIA team parked a van across the street, filled with agents and recording equipment. They took the cat out of its carrier, gave it one last check, and released it. This was a moment of truth. Years of research, millions of dollars, and countless hours of training all came down to this. The agents in the van held their breath, watching intently. The cat was supposed to walk across the street, approach the bench, and sit down, activating its secret recording devices. The cat took a few steps from the van, looked around, and immediately wandered straight into the middle of the street. Before anyone could react, a taxi came speeding down the road. The $20 million, highly trained, surgically modified spy cat was hit and killed instantly. The mission was a catastrophic failure, over in less than a minute. Back at headquarters, the project was quietly shut down. In a declassified memo summarizing the operation, one of the lead researchers came to a stunning conclusion. He wrote that while the science and technology worked, the project ultimately failed because they discovered that cats are simply not trainable for that kind of specific, directed work. It was a lesson that cost the American taxpayers millions. For decades, Operation Acoustic Kitty was just a rumor, a whisper among intelligence insiders, a story too ridiculous to be true. But in 2001, thanks to the Freedom of Information Act, the official documents were finally declassified, and the world learned the bizarre truth. The CIA really did try to turn a cat into a spy. So what does this strange story tell us? It's a fascinating glimpse into the paranoia and desperation of the Cold War. It shows the incredible lengths governments were willing to go to, and the unbelievable risks they were willing to take in the name of national security. Sometimes the most ambitious plans lead to the most spectacular failures. Operation Acoustic Kitty remains one of the most famous and expensive flops in the history of espionage. A cautionary tale that reminds us that even with the most advanced technology, you can't always control the unpredictable nature of, well, a cat. What other strange secrets are still locked away in classified government vaults? We'll be digging into more of them right here on Secrets of Time. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into history's hidden corners. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.